Hello everyone. So in this video, you'll be seeing how to add and subtract polynomials. Already in the previous video, we have learned about polynomials. So in this session, we are going to be seeing how do we add and subtract polynomials. So what is important before you start learning how to add and subtract polynomials is to identify like terms. Now, what are like terms? Like terms are the terms which have the same variable with the same exponent. So you can see some examples of like terms here. So 3a and 12a, 54a, all of them have the variables as a. So these are called as like terms. Similarly, you can see 5x, 12x, 0.9x. They all have same terms, same variables, so which means they are like terms too. In case if there is a power for x here, for example, if it was 5x squared, so 5x squared, 12x and 0.9x are not like terms because 5x squared is 5x is having an exponent, but these two don't have. So for a polynomial to have like terms, you should have the same variables. If they have same exponents, it should be like this: xy squared, xy squared, xy squared. It should all be the same. Even if one of the term has xy to the power of 4, it's not going to be a like term. That is called an unlike term. So it is very important to identify like terms when you are adding or subtracting polynomials. All right, let's move on and check an example on how to solve a polynomial. Now this is all about adding polynomials. So first let me explain you about adding polynomials, then I will show you gradually how to subtract polynomials. Okay, now the first thing first always, what do? Identify the like terms. Now from the previous slide which I taught you what are like terms, from this which are going to be like terms now? Like terms are going to be 15m cube. So which is a like term for 15m cube? 2m cube, because this is a square, so this is not a like term. These two are like terms, so we are going to arrange the polynomial properly in order so that it becomes easier for us to calculate. So first is identify the like terms. So like terms are 15m cube and 2m cube. Let's arrange the terms so that becomes 15m cube plus 2m cube plus 16m square. Just we are bringing them together, that's all. Now add the like terms. So 15, add in the sense not the exponents. You don't add the exponents. You will not say now m cube plus n cube is m to the power of 6. No, we are only going to add the coefficients. Coefficients means the number which is in front. So 15 plus 2 will give you a 17m cube plus 16m square. We can't do anything for this because there are no like terms for this. So we leave it like that. So this is going to be your answer. When you add polynomials, you will usually get answers in this form of different terms. So that's how you add polynomials. Let's look at one more example. Here, it's 2x squared minus x plus x squared plus 3x minus 1. Okay, again, now why have they given parentheses? Sometimes it happens that inside the parentheses there will be terms which we can simplify. Okay, so when you have to simplify such questions, you have to do that. Now in this parenthesis, there's nothing we can simplify. Simplify means you can solve like the like terms. You can add or subtract like terms. There are no like terms here, and neither is it here. So there are no like terms. So what's the second step? You have to identify the like terms. So which are the like terms? We have 2x squared and we have plus x squared. So we are going to add both of them. And then are there any other like terms? Yes, we do. We have minus x and minus 1. So let's, minus x and 3x, not minus and minus x and 3x. So let's arrange them first. 2x squared plus x squared inside the parentheses. Why have we put inside the parentheses? So that it becomes easier for us to calculate. Then plus 3x minus x. That's how we got 3x minus x inside the parentheses. Minus 1 is left alone as there are no like terms. So solve them. You know the coefficient of this is 1. There is no number here, means it's going to be 1. So 2x plus x squared is going to give you a 3x squared. Then 3x minus 1x will give us a 2x. And then the answer is going to be 3x squared plus 2x minus 1. This is how you need to solve polynomials. You have to add polynomials. Let's move on and check how to add polynomials using the vertical method. So, when using the vertical method of adding polynomials for adding and subtracting, we can use this way. Okay, now what does this vertical method tell us? In fact, it's more easier. I feel it's more easier and more systematic when we are adding or subtracting. So this is the polynomial which you have. Wait, don't panic just by looking at the question. It's a very easy question. Only it's longer as we have to solve the like terms first before we move on. So we can simplify this polynomial. Simplify in the sense, are there any polynomials which are similar inside the parenthesis? We have 3a squared plus 12a squared. So first let's solve them to make the polynomial smaller. So 3a squared plus 12a squared is going to give you a 15a squared. Now this is the polynomial we are going to solve. So we have, because there are no other like terms inside the parenthesis, right? So let's arrange them. Always start by writing the longer polynomial first. So write the longer polynomial first, 5a cubed plus 15a squared minus 6a. Now from the other set of polynomials, we are going to write it under each other like this. This is why it's called vertical. So 7a cubed belongs to under 5a cubed minus 10a, that will come under 6a, right? Because they are the like terms, we are just arranging them. So the answer for this is going to be 5 plus 7. Here it should be plus 5 plus 7 equals 12 a cube. Then there is nothing here, means it's going to be same, 15a squared minus 6 minus 10 will give me a minus 16a. So this is how you add polynomials using the vertical method. As you can see, it's more organized and it will help you to locate where the polynomials belong rather than writing it long and doing as we did in the previous one. Now it's totally up to you which way you choose. However way you choose, you should. Our main aim is to get the right answer. Okay, let's move on and check how to subtract polynomials. It's the same rule, only one thing you have to be careful when you're subtracting polynomials is that you have to be very careful about the signs which are inside the parenthesis after the minus sign. Now this will not have any effect. The first parenthesis polynomials will have no effect. But the one after the minus sign, of course, will have effect. But as for this question, there is nothing to do. I will just show you how to do this. So always identify the like terms. So which are the like terms? We have 2x squared and then minus 4x squared. So we are arranging them, right? Bring the minus 4x squared here and put them inside parentheses. So 2 minus 4 will give you minus 2x squared and plus 6. So this is the answer for this polynomial when you subtract them. Just arrange them. Because it's a smaller polynomial, we can do it that way, but if you're doing it the vertical way, that's the best, so that you will not get confused. Okay, so this is how you subtract easy polynomials. Let's move on for a little bit bigger one. Okay, don't mind these arrows. They were supposed to come later, but I don't know how they have come in the video now. Maybe I forgot to program it. Okay, so here the polynomial says 2x squared minus 3x squared plus 1 minus x squared plus x plus 1. Now this is why I said you have to be very careful of these signs here. This and the parenthesis, the numbers inside the parenthesis after the negative sign. Why? Because as you know, there is 1 here. So you need to multiply each of the term inside the parenthesis with a negative 1. As a result, what happens is the sign of these polynomials change. Now just think that there is a negative 1 here. So multiply negative 1 with x squared. So here again there is 1 as there is no number. So negative 1 multiplied by 1 will give you a negative x squared, right? Then negative 1 multiplied by 1 will give you again a negative 1x. So we don't write the 1, we just write x. Then negative multiplied by positive 1 will give you a negative 1. That's how the question goes. So that's why I always said when you are subtracting, especially for subtracting, you have to be extra careful that you need to multiply each term which is inside the parenthesis with a negative 1. So as a result, you can see the whole polynomial signs have changed. Okay, so this is a very crucial and very important step when you are subtracting polynomials. Okay, now here, moving on to this parenthesis here, you have 2x squared minus 3x squared plus 1. Okay, now as you can see, you have two like terms, 2x squared minus 3x squared. So we can simplify them, right? So 2 minus 3 will give you minus 1. So we don't write the minus 1. So we write it as minus x squared. Let's write the question now. I told you previously also, start by writing the longer polynomial. Okay, so the longer polynomial comes first. Then from the other one, we have minus x squared. There is no term of x in this parenthesis, then plus 1. So minus 1, minus 1. Always remember the coefficient, if there is no number here, is 1. So minus 1 is minus 2x squared, and minus x comes down, minus 1 plus 1 will give you a plus, it's a 0, whether it's a negative 0 or positive 0, it's a 0, which has no value. So finally your answer is going to be negative 2x squared minus x. This is how you solve polynomials. If you did think you didn't understand, pause the video here, just stare at the screen for 3 minutes just to understand what has been done. You will understand it much better when you try to understand it yourself rather than just someone talking and explaining it. So if you think you didn't understand, you can pause the video and think what has been done, because all the steps have been done clearly. You can just absorb that into your mind and then you can move to the next question. Okay, the next question says 6c 6 to the power of 4 plus 8c plus 6 minus 2c4 to the power of 4. Now, as usual, what I always say is always take care of the negative sign, because you need to multiply what's inside the parenthesis. So negative 1 multiplied by 2 will give you a negative 2c to the power of 4. This rule is critical when it's subtraction. Okay, so there is nothing to simplify here, as all of them are different terms, they are unlike terms. So let's write them in vertical way. So always start with the longer polynomial first and then arrange the other one according to the polynomials under each other. So here there is nothing except negative 2c to the power of 4. So c minus 2 will give you a 4c to the power of 4 plus 8c plus 6. So this is your answer, 4c to the power of 4 plus 8c plus 6. It was easy, isn't it? If you know the rules of how to subtract and how to add and how to multiply, this is just like eating a piece of cake. Okay, so one more last question. Let me teach you how to do this one. So here, as usual, I have forgotten to put the parentheses here, or maybe there are no parentheses, maybe, I don't know. Okay, so this is the question. Minus 6x cubed plus 5x plus 2x cubed plus 4x cubed. Now this is for add or subtract. When they say add or subtract, it really depends on the question. All what you need to do is arrange the terms, bring the like terms together. So that means the like terms are going to be negative 6x cubed plus 2x cubed plus 4x cubed plus 5x, because as you know the plus sign belongs to the number before it, so plus 5x. So just solve this. Minus 6 plus 2 will give you a minus 4. Minus 4 plus 4 will give you a 0x cubed, right? Okay, here it should be a cube as well. So we have 0x cubed plus 5x. Okay, so this is your answer. But is this the final answer? As you can see that there is 0x cubed. So 0x cubed has nothing to do with this. If the coefficient itself is 0, there is no point. So your answer is only going to be 5x. Okay. So the answer itself is going to be only 5x, not 0x cubed plus 5x. Answer is going to be only 5x. So that is how you add and subtract polynomials. If you have learned the rules of integers, this is one of the easiest lessons. And do not worry about these long polynomials here. Once you simplify them, it's easy for you to solve. And if possible, my advice to you is use the vertical method of solving polynomials, so that you will never go wrong and it will be clear and neat on how you solve it. So until we meet in another video, as I always say, keep practicing. Do not think math is hard. It's a matter of interest. You take interest in something which you like, you will do it better. So till we meet in another video, keep studying and keep practicing.